So, welcome to Mobilisation and Recovery. For anybody specifically starting out on your fitness journey, or it might just be that this is a standalone workout or routine rather that you would like to give a go. So we've got stuff in this sequence that is really helpful for hamstrings, specifically a technique called flossing. This is really good for calming the sciatic nerve, which can cause an over-tightness in our hamstrings. So we're going to give that a go, and we're also going to focus on mobility in the ankles and hips, as well as the hamstrings. So without further ado, let's begin with a little bit of arm swinging. I'd just like to open the arms to begin. Maybe feel that squeeze in the back of the shoulder blades, and really nice. Okay, then from here we're going to come down to the mat. And we're going to just kneel down on the mat wherever you like, and just interlace the hands, stretch forwards and look towards your knees. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the shoulders. And then we're going to come upwards and interlace the hands and push the shoulder blades, moving the hands away. Feeling a stretch here in the front of the shoulders. Okay, really nice. And then we're going to just bring our hands to fists first of all, and then explode our hands outwards. Make fists, explode outwards. The idea being we are warming up our wrists, and sometimes this is an area to be really protective of, especially when we are starting out on a new something new, when we're building intensity and it's something our body is. Things like our wrists, our ankles can be vulnerable. So it's just a good idea. So maybe some wrist circles as well. Just whatever feels good before we come into a box position. So here we've got hands under shoulders, hips over knees. And we're going to take a cat-cow, rounding through the spine, bringing the head between the shoulders. And then moving forwards with the chest, tucking the pelvis, pushing the pelvis back. And repeat. So inhale as we round. Exhale as we lift. Okay, really nice. Then maybe bringing the feet flat and just taking a couple of circles slowly to the right, moving both the hips and the shoulders here. Feeling a bit of a stretch the more you extend through the arms, and that's really good. Moving back the other way. Breathing, feeling calm, and really positive about this. Notice those little bits of stiffness, but don't take that as a bad thing or a bad sign. We all get stiffness, particularly if you've started out doing more fitness. Okay, so from here we're going to stick in this box, but we're going to tuck the toes again if they were untucked, and then lift the knees so that our shins are horizontal, keeping hands under shoulders, and we're just going to tap one hand to the opposite shoulder for 12, so that's 2. And keep that core engaged, shoulder blades down and back, and the core should, I said the core should be engaged. I'm always saying that. And let's go for 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the knees back down to the mat. Walking the hands out slightly, leaving the hips high, and just melting the chest towards the mat. Bringing, if you can, the head towards the mat, the chest as close to the mat as you're able to, and then lifting the gaze slightly, if you can, and feeling the shoulder blades come together. It might be there's quite a lot of tightness there, in which case you can reset and do it again. Keep breathing. Enjoy this stretch. Puppy dog stretch, really nice. Okay, and we are ready to move on to our the main block. We've got, first of all, the hamstring flossing. So this is having our hamstrings. So simply lie back, bringing the hands behind the thigh, and we're going to point the toe and then flex the toe. And we're going to do that twice on each side. Then we're going to straighten the leg, pressing the heel up to the ceiling, and really gently just pull, if you want to pull the leg towards yourself, but really very gently, hand just behind the middle part of the back of the top of the thigh. Okay, and then we repeat. So we point, we flex, we point, we flex. We can lift the shoulder blades off the mat as well, but we're pressing the lower back into the mat if we're doing that. And if we're not, that's also fine. Okay, and we're going to go for 6. So this is number 3. Straighten the leg. Breathe at the same time. This will really help the oxygen get to the muscles and mobility start to build. Not build, that's the wrong word. Mobility, the range of motion will be more likely to improve. But yes, if you're doing strength training, you're familiar with the idea of building. Okay, straighten that leg, pulling gently, but more importantly, pressing the heel up towards the ceiling. Okay, 2 more, point and flex, point and flex. Pressing the heel up, and really good. Point and flex, heel up. Pulling towards yourself, really nice. And let's switch to the other leg. So point and flex, point and flex. Straighten that leg. At first, not really pulling, maybe lifting the shoulder blades, but pressing the heel up to the ceiling. And repeat. And breathe. Gently pulling if you feel that that is comfortable to do so. You only want to pull the leg towards yourself until you feel that hamstring being stretched, but probably just pressing the hamstring up towards the ceiling and getting a straight leg is a bit of a stretch already, so it's quite subtle. I just find that by lifting the shoulder blades off the floor, well, it does, it helps the stretch, helps facilitate that straightening of the leg in line with the hip. And I think we've got 2 more after this. So yes, it's worth doing 6 of these, I find. This is about a good number of these flossing movements to do. Anywhere between 5 and 10 is a good number, I would say. Okay, taking a little break. And then straightening our legs. Gently bringing yourself up to a seated position. Maybe already feeling a little bit more able to press the back of the legs into the mat. Hopefully. Okay, bringing the left leg over the right. Bringing the right arm to the outside of the knee or the right hand and turning towards the back of the mat. Lifting through from the pelvis upwards and twisting. Maybe looking over this left shoulder, feeling a stretch here in the outside of the hip and also maybe the glute as well at the same time. It's a really nice twist. I thought this would be a good one to get in here for our recovery flow. And remember to breathe and enjoy that sensation of release in the muscles. Okay, release that. And from here, we're now going to roll back briefly whilst holding just beneath the knees and keeping the core engaged. We're going to do a rock and roll. So this is all about core control. This is a bit of a massage for the spine. And we've done 3 already. Let's do 3 more. 3. It might be that you're not rocking very far, or that you're not sure about it if it's the first time you've done this move, but it's very good for lubricating the spine and it's good for the core at the same time. I'm going to do 1 more because what I meant to do is rock forward and then come onto my feet. Now, if you can't do that, don't worry. Just move your way into a power squat. So we're in a squat position, arms reaching forward, shoulder height, stretching those fingers forward. Shoulder blades down and back, core engage. Inhale, and I said we were going to address some ankle mobility, bringing the hands to heart center. We're going to see how low we can go towards a yogi squat. It might be you can go all the way down, you've got really good flexibility in the knees, hips and ankles. Now, it might be your heels come off the floor, and mine do before I reach the bottom at the moment, so this is fine. We're working on it. And then we're placing the hand to the inside of the right knee and twisting to open the hip from this position. If this feels fine in the ankles and knees, carry on for 2 more of these. Open and open, really good. From here, hands in front of the feet, and we're just going to step back with this left leg, lifting the chest slightly, keeping the arms straight here, and then wriggling this right foot so that it's pointing about 45 degrees out to the side. The heel is just behind your right hand, and we're going to twist it open in a long lizard lunge. That's really good. And then we're going to bring our right hand back down and heel toe this right foot across to the opposite side of the mat, and move the foot out onto the side of the foot, and then lower this left knee as we come into a king pigeon. So this position here is a nice accessible way to begin to stretch out the hip in this pigeon pose. So I'm using my left hand to bring this right foot up a bit. My foot is flat on this left leg on the mat behind me, and the front of my hip flexor on this left side is moving towards the mat, and my chest is forwards. My chin is down, and it should feel like a lovely stretch on the outside of the right hip. And if you're comfortable here, you'll be able to move down with the forearms and just feel that release. Maybe moving this foot upwards a bit more for a bit more of a stretch through the outside of the hip. Oh, this is such a good one. Pigeon pose. Really good. Especially if you have any lower back pain at all, quite often stiffness in the hips is part of it. This is a really great way to address it. One more breath. And reluctantly, but you can repeat this if you want. Coming back up to a tall plank. And bending the knees, moving the hips back. Head between the shoulder blades, then lifting the gaze towards the thumbs and taking a little hop if you can, or stepping to the top of the mat. And we're back into our power squat here. Really nice. Okay, good. We're going to do the same thing the other way now. So, left hand down and left hand back, actually right hand framing, moving this left foot out slightly. So the toes are pointing out slightly, keeping this left leg nice and straight. Back of the knee is pressing upwards towards the ceiling, and we're reaching with our hand above the left shoulder here. Inhale, exhale. Then we're heel toeing across the mat to come into our king pigeon again as we lower this right knee this time. So our hands are in front of the knee and the foot. Ooh, feels nicer on this side. But we all feel different on each side. So when I say nicer, I mean it's a bit easier for me to go deeper into this stretch on the left, which is often the case because on the side we have more stiffness, we're stronger, so it tends to be our dominant side. Okay, so right hand moving this foot up. I've brought my forearms down to the mat again, and just take a moment to enjoy the stretch. Maybe moving gently side to side. It's really good to hold for a little bit longer than this stretch because there's a lot of tension, probably, is one thing. It does feel better the longer you hold it, within reason. You know, anything up to 2 minutes would actually be fine. Okay, coming up and out to a tall plank, really good. And moving back into a lovely angry cat. And then this time we're going to step forwards on the left to begin. And we're going to come into a power lunge, hinging, and then step forwards, bring the hands to the hips, straighten both legs, and lower the chest, and we're into a pyramid pose. So we're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together, we're pressing through the heel. So this is a great way to see how our hamstrings are feeling, really. We're going to ease off from there, step both feet together, sweep arms overhead, and then sweep the arms down, bend the knees, jumping out if you can, and into a lizard lunge on the other side, and then a power lunge. Keeping the back leg straight, and then slightly stepping the foot towards ourselves, hands to hips, lowering the chest, pyramid pose. Inhale, squeezing shoulder blades together, moving the chest towards the front of the leg. Then coming to the top of the mat, mountain pose. This is basically standing up, sweeping the arms overhead, palms to touch. This time we're going to take the palms down, facing the mat, hinge, and swan dive it down. Bend the knees slightly if you've, like me, got tight hamstrings. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up the front of the legs, push the hips back, squeeze shoulder blades together, halfway lift. Really nice. Let's do that one more time. So good for posture. Swan dive it down, reaching slightly forwards, and then bend the knees slightly, halfway lift. Okay, really nice. Back to mountain pose, and excellent work. I hope you find that sequence helpful, and I'd love to hear how you get on.